you have been working on this for quite a long time.
Yes.
A good portion of your life.
Yes.
And obviously this is something where you study things as a clinical psychologist and a doctor, but now you get to see something where you can become part of the change to it. When you look at this, a lot of times in history there was some kind of a catalyst or some specific event that caused people to get an awareness of things like the feminist movements or voting rights or different things. What, in your opinion, was the catalyst for this? What caused this change or this movement?
I think that this is in fact an understandable evolution of all of the social rights and human rights changes that have occurred in post-war Western democracies. That it started with movements like the civil rights movement and indigenous rights and then feminism, but that it's continuing because all of these movements are basically humanist movements. It's about humans focusing on what makes a good life for humans.
Was there a specific item or something that comes to mind that was the tipping point that said, now we need to make the change, now we need to take action?
I think perhaps it was the ongoing negative health outcomes for men and boys that started people looking at men going, this is not working, something's wrong, what's happening, why are men and boys in such trouble, why are their health outcomes and their mental health outcomes so poor? And I think that started the conversation, and there's been various responses to that conversation. But it also, as I said, it's been evolving for a long time. In the 80s you had the men's movement with the Iron John, going out in the bush and beating drums sort of process. And you had wonderful psychologists like Stephen Biddulph in Australia who started talking about raising boys and wrote a seminal book on raising boys. And that started that conversation about how the way that we had challenged stereotypical female lifestyles, we needed to start challenging stereotypical male lifestyles.
And it sounds like it started young. I mean, challenging even what Dr. Spock and other noted psychologists had put out there. So.
Oh, very much so, because I mean those ideas, of course, were the seeds of the discussion that continued. It's sort of like Freud. Freud opened up a discussion. He didn't give definitive answers that still work today perfectly, but he certainly opened up a discussion that has provided opportunities for conversation and for research that has leading us into very much more refined ideas about mental health than in his day. And it's the same with how people can flourish. It's an evolution of thinking as people start the conversation, as more people join the conversation, more ideas are presented and thought about and talked about. And that's how humans evolve, it's by cooperating and communicating with each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. Essential to this communication is, I guess in some ways, sorting out what's real and what's not.
That's right.
If you look, there's been movements in the past, a lot of them faith-based, like Promise Keepers and some of these others, that had various goals, similar in terms of trying to make men specifically be better. But yours is different in that it's based on actual research. It's based on a lot of other things.
Well,
why do you think your program, why is making good men great the right way to go?
Because it's not about an ideology. It's about what works for human beings.
The facts. Yeah.
What works for human beings, what makes human beings happy is good quality intimate relationships with the people in their lives. It's having an opportunity to explore their interests and their passions. It's having enough work and enough money to support themselves so that they can live without fear and insecurity. It's about having the freedom to choose how to live their lives. That is what helps a human being flourish. And whether they're male or female,
Yes,
And
absolutely.
so, these are all core beliefs and values of our societies as democratic societies. So it's nothing new. It's not something that is a brand new ideology. It is looking at what has always worked to make humans happy and encouraging people to refocus their attention on those areas of their lives and to challenge stereotypical ideas about how they should be. There's a very good sort of psychological model called rational emotive therapy, and the classic sort of core sort of challenge in that is that if you hear the word should in your thinking, you need to step back and ask yourself why.
No, I love that. It's about taking ownership,
It's
taking
about taking
responsibility
ownership.
for what
Albert
you're doing.
Ellis,
Yeah.
an American practitioner, recognised that was an important thing for us to do, and that's been built on. And Gunter's idea is that patriarchy is very much an either-or process. You're either one thing or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, human life and human beings are and also.
Yeah, we're not polarized.
We're not polarised.
Yeah.
We are holistic, and that is the way to go. And that has been an evolution of thinking through so many areas of human life and thinking over the last 50 years that we don't consider ourselves to have come up with anything new or some great big ideology. We consider ourselves to be offering a guideline to people as individuals and small groups
Mm-hmm.
that they can use to help to improve their personal lives and to put some balance and flourishing into their lives.
Thank you for listening to our Inspire Change Coffee Talks. And don't forget to scan and subscribe to Swoboda Josephson VIP Inner Circle today for more content like this and exclusive perks and offers.